Hi. Hi. Hey there, everyone. My name is Jenny, and today let's talk about personal boundaries. In our life, there are some moments that we feel giving too much energy, time, material for other people, and we don't have control in it. Those things happen because we didn't set our boundaries. Wait, what? What is it? Before resetting our boundaries, we have to know the definition of boundary itself. According to Oxford Dictionary, boundary is a line that marks the limits of an area or a dividing line. And in this case, it's imaginary line. Each of us have a different limits, so we create and having our own territory that divide us and other people. Personal boundaries help us to define an individual by outlining likes and dislikes, what things that are acceptable and not, and setting the distances one allows other to approach. There are 4 different types of boundary according to Nina Brown: soft, spongy, rigid, and flexible. People who have soft boundaries don't have their own territory, so they will have a higher risk of being a victim of psychological manipulation. People with spongy boundaries are a combination of soft and rigid boundaries. They are unsure of what to let in and what to keep out. People with rigid boundaries tend to close or block themselves from physical and emotional things. That's the effect based on bad or traumatic experiences in the past. Lastly, people with flexible boundaries have more control with themselves and know what or who that allows them to let in and keep out. They are resistant to psychological manipulation and difficult to exploit. Dr. Henry Cloud, an author that discussed boundaries, said that boundaries is same as our house. So we own that house, we have ownership and responsibility toward our house. And clearly, we don't want anyone intruding our house. So after knowing that, you will understand how important it is to set boundaries, especially among teenagers. You may say, "Oh, that sounds selfish," when it's truly not, because the main purpose of setting boundaries is to protect yourself from people who wanted to try to manipulate us by bringing good intentions. Back then, when I didn't know that boundaries exist, I tend to always say yes to my friend or other people, even when I know that's crossed my limits. Also, I feel I'm not becoming who I really am and spend time with the wrong people. They manipulate me by intimidating and dominating in a relationship. If we don't have boundaries, we become a people pleaser because we always hate to say no and because we're scared to let down other people's expectations about us. But what we really have to know is that people's happiness is not our responsibility, and we know what's the best for us. By having good boundaries, we will create a healthy relationship with other people. Healthy relationship is created by mutual respect. When 2 people or more have set their boundaries, then they will respect one of another's values. I remember in A Paper Town, there is a scene where Quentin meets Margot in a paper town after a long and tiring journey, hoping that Margot will be back. But then she refused because that's what makes her happy the most, by living in a town where no one knows her at all. Quentin disappointed after hearing that, but he realized that Margot will always be Margot, and both of them have their own life and awaiting the amazing journey in the future. Having boundaries is an act of self-love. We deserve to protect our personal space on our values, not living under other people's expectations, and live in your true self. Well, if I just talk about it, it sounds easy, right? But why is it harder when we practice it in real life? First, we're afraid that people think we are difficult and complicated. Second, we are afraid after we say our boundaries to other people, there will be a conflict or confrontation. Third, there are some people who misunderstand the boundaries itself and think that it's an act of controlling, while on the other hand, we just want to be respected. After that, the most important question: how do we identify and set our boundaries? We need to know what values we want to hold in life by reflecting and contemplating. Then we want to categorize those values by asking to ourselves, is that important? Is it really who I am? Having self-awareness is really important in order to know what you really want. Also, think about the impact of our actions by asking, will it improve our life, or is there something that could make a bigger impact? If it will take up more time than it's worth, then just say no. Be direct, transparent, and respectful when communicating our needs to other people. Their reaction may be bad, but if you say it firmly and respectfully, then they should listen and be respectful about it. If they still get annoyed by it, then they are not the one for you. Know your worth, everyone. Lastly, have a support system that can respect your personal boundaries that you already set. So you understand right now why setting boundaries is essential. There are 3 points that are important in here. First, our existence is not always about making people happy. We are also responsible for our own self and our own happiness. Second, respecting other people doesn't mean always say yes to what they ask from us, especially until interrupting our personal space. Third, setting boundaries is an act of self-love and self-respect before loving and respecting others. Before we respect other people, the one that we must always remember is we need to love and respect ourselves first. Remember that you are in full control of your choices and your life. You are not existing to fulfill people's expectations and live in their life. Be yourself. Know your worth. Be firm about your values. Jared Manley Hopkins said, "Your personal boundaries protect the inner core of your identity and your right to choices." That's the end of my video, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video and could take as important message that I wanted to try to tell you guys in this video. And I hope that we always happy, always in a good condition, and hoping for the good and the best future for all of us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending your time to watch this, and see you.